For 20 years, Mr. Blake had run his little circus inside a fading shopping mall in Central Florida. The air always smelled of popcorn and dust. He loved the laughter, the lights, and the thrill of applause. But lately fewer people came. Empty seats now echoed where cheers used to roar. The star of the show was Koba, a mighty silverback gorilla. "You hear that?" Mr. Blake said one night, listening to the faint claps from the audience. "The headliner." Koba stood tall in his glass enclosure, pretending to be angry just like old times. The crowd barely reacted. Backstage, the other animals waited. Henny the baseball-playing chicken, Finn the juggling seal, Max the rabbit who rode a toy fire truck, and Bella the dancing poodle. They chattered quietly after each show in a language no human could understand. Among them roamed Milo, a stray mutt who loved sneaking in to nap beside Koba's cage. After the show, the mall was nearly silent except for the squeak of mops. A young girl named Lily sat near Koba's cage, sketching him with crayons. Her father, Peter, worked as the janitor. "You sit so still," she whispered to Koba. "You make drawing easy." Koba tilted his head, curious. When she was done, she held the paper up to the glass. It showed his gentle eyes and heavy chest, beautiful in a child's hand. "Good one, Jules, I mean Lily," Mr. Blake said, stopping behind her. "You've got real talent." "Got it from her mother," Peter said softly. Mr. Blake's face fell. He remembered Lily's mother was ill. "She doing any better?" Peter sighed. "Some days good. Some days not." Mr. Blake handed Lily a few dollars. "Buy new crayons. The good ones." She smiled wide and hugged him. For a moment, even Koba's eyes softened. Later that night, when everyone left, Mr. Blake stood in the dim light staring at Koba's cage. "You're the star, big guy," he muttered. "But stars can't shine forever." He rubbed his forehead, thinking of unpaid bills and a crowd that no longer came. If things don't change, this circus won't survive. Koba watched silently. He didn't understand every word, but he understood tone. Sadness, worry, fear. When Mr. Blake left, Koba turned to Maya, the wise old elephant beside him. "Do you remember when the crowd was full?" he asked. Maya nodded. "I do. People used to cheer like thunder." "Maybe I've lost my edge," Koba said. "I can still roar. Maybe that'll bring them back." Maya sighed. "Humans don't change how they see us. To them, gorillas are always angry." Koba looked down. "My father said anger is precious. You use it only to protect." He clenched his fist softly. "Tomorrow, I'll be fierce again." The next day, Koba roared until his throat ached. The audience clapped politely, then drifted away to the food court. When the lights dimmed, Lily returned, slipping a box of old crayons through the bars. "For you," she whispered. "Maybe you can draw too." Koba blinked, puzzled. Milo tilted his head. "You gonna eat 'em or what?" "I don't know," Koba murmured. Later that night, Koba watched a little beetle crawl across his floor. He picked up a crayon and began to draw it. When he finished, Milo squinted. It's a rock." Koba chuckled, a deep rumbling sound. "It's a beetle." "Oh," Milo said. "Yeah, totally see it now." The next morning, Mr. Blake passed by and saw the marks on the floor. "Huh. You doodling big guy," he muttered with a half smile. He didn't think much of it. But Lily did. When she saw the beetle sketch later, her eyes went wide. "He drew this," she told her dad. "Koba drew it." Peter just laughed. "Maybe you just have an artist's eye, sweetheart." A week later, Mr. Blake came rushing into the mall, smiling for the first time in months. "Big news," he shouted. "What is it?" Peter asked. "New performer coming today. A baby elephant. The people will love her." The animals whispered in their cages, curious and excited. Even Milo couldn't keep it secret for long. When the delivery truck arrived, out stepped a tiny elephant with bright eyes and soft gray skin. "Her name's Nala," Mr. Blake said proudly. She's young but she'll steal hearts. Koba watched quietly from his cage. His chest felt heavy. Steal hearts, he murmured. Does that mean, steal my place? Maya smiled gently at the baby. She's just a child, Koba. Koba didn't reply. He turned away and muttered, I'm the headliner. That night, Nala crept to his cage and asked, Are you a monkey? Koba raised a brow. A gorilla, he said. Oh, she smiled. Do you have others like you? No, he said softly. Just me. Well, she said yawning, then I'll be your friend. Koba didn't answer. But when she fell asleep, he whispered. The next evening, the circus tent glowed with lights again. Mr. Blake's voice rang out, cheerful for the first time in months. Ladies and gentlemen, meet our newest star, the adorable baby elephant Nala. The curtains opened. The crowd gasped and clapped. Nala stumbled onto the stage, wide-eyed and nervous. When she raised her trunk shyly, the audience melted. Children cheered, adults smiled. Behind the curtain, Koba watched in silence. His chest tightened as the crowd shouted Nala's name. After the show, Milo wagged his tail. Guess the kid's a hit, huh? Koba grunted. It's supposed to be my job to save the circus, not hers. Milo shrugged. Maybe she didn't get the memo. From her cage, Maya called softly. Don't be jealous, Koba. She's only a baby. Koba turned away. Then why do I feel like I've already been replaced? Days passed, and every seat was filled again. People came for Nala now, the baby who could lift her trunk and charm a crowd. Koba still performed, but his act was shorter. Mr. Blake's smiles were brighter, though they never reached his eyes. After one show, Lily noticed Maya limping slightly. Dad, she whispered, her foot looks bad. Peter knelt to look, frowning. Could be an infection. Mr. Blake waved it off. I'll call the vet tomorrow. She'll be fine. But that night, Maya lay quietly in her cage, breathing slow and heavy. Nala nudged her. Does it hurt? Maya smiled weakly. Just tired of standing for so many years. Will it get better? Maybe, Maya said. But for now, come closer. I'll tell you a story. Koba leaned in from his cage too. Maya began softly. Once, long ago, when I was a wild elephant. Maya's voice was gentle as a lullaby. When I was little, I fell into a deep hole in the wild. I was stuck for hours, sinking in mud. Then I saw a girl, just a child, running to fetch help. Nala's eyes widened. Did they save you? Yes, Maya said. A whole village came. They pulled me out with ropes. I thought humans were cruel, but that day, I learned some can be kind. Milo snorted softly. Never met one of those. Maya smiled. You will someday. Nala asked. Are animals free out there? Yes, Maya said. And there are places where humans let animals live safely. Maybe one day you'll see them. Koba listened quietly, his mind drifting to a jungle he barely remembered. When the story ended, Maya looked at Koba. Don't forget, not all cages are made of metal. He didn't quite understand, but her words lingered deep inside. The next morning, Lily pointed out Maya's limp again. She shouldn't perform today, she said. Mr. Blake sighed. Then Nala goes on alone. When the music began, Nala froze backstage, trembling. I can't do it without Maya. You can, Maya whispered. Be yourself. You're stronger than you think. Koba leaned forward. You'll be fine, little one. Nala's eyes met his. Promise. Promise, he said. When she finally stepped on stage, the crowd roared. By the time it ended, Nala was glowing with pride. But that night Maya's breathing was weaker. Koba, she said softly. Promise me something. He leaned close. Anything. Promise you'll take care of Nala. Promise you'll help her be free. Koba froze. Free. You mean, escape? Yes, she whispered. Don't let her grow old in a cage. Koba's chest ached. I promise. Maya smiled faintly. Good. And before dawn broke, she was gone. When morning came, the circus was silent. Nala pressed against the bars, calling softly, Maya! Maya, wake up! Koba looked away, eyes burning. Mr. Blake entered the tent, froze and whispered, Oh no! He covered his face. She was the last of the old guard. Peter gently placed a blanket over the great elephant. That night, Nala wouldn't stop crying. Milo stayed beside her until she slept. Then he padded over to Koba's cage. She's hurting bad, the dog said. I know, Koba murmured. I told her you'd save her. That you'd get her out. Koba turned sharply. You what? You promised Maya, didn't you? Koba fell silent. Then figure something out, big guy, Milo said. You're the one and only Koba. Koba stared at the moon through the glass, his reflection dark and heavy. I promised, he whispered. So I'll find a way. After Maya's death, the circus lost its magic. Crowds still came, but the laughter felt hollow. Nala performed each night, though her steps were slower. Mr. Blake sat backstage, rubbing his temples. We're barely paying rent, he muttered. What more do they want from me? Peter tried to comfort him. Maybe the show just needs time. But Mr. Blake's patience was gone. Time doesn't pay bills, Peter, he snapped, slamming his clipboard. In the corner, Koba watched, silent as stone. He saw the tired lines on Mr. Blake's face and wondered if kindness could survive desperation. That night, as Milo slept curled on his belly, Koba whispered, I made a promise, Maya. But how does one gorilla set a child free? Milo twitched in his sleep. Don't overthink it, he mumbled. Koba sighed. Easier said than done, little one. The next morning, Mr. Blake began training Nala harder than ever. Up. Lift your foot. Mill. The crowd loves smiles, he barked. Nala tried, but her legs trembled. Peter frowned. Sir, she's tired. I'm tired too, Mr. Blake snapped. But nobody's giving me a break. From his cage, Koba clenched his fists. Let her rest, he growled. Mr. Blake ignored him. Then, as he shouted again, Nala flicked her trunk, splashing a bucket of water straight into his face. His wig slipped sideways. Milo burst out laughing. Oh, that's gold. Mr. Blake stood dripping, humiliated. Enough. We'll continue tomorrow. He stormed off. Peter shook his head. The poor man's losing it, he whispered. That night, Nala apologized to Koba. I didn't mean to make him mad. Koba smiled faintly. Sometimes, little one, even anger can be brave. As the mall slept, Koba picked up one of Lily's crayons. On a torn scrap of paper, he drew a long metal shape, thin and curved. When Milo saw it, he squinted. A snake. Koba smirked. A key. Key to what? To the cages. Milo's ears perked up. You serious? Koba nodded. We'll need help. Lily trusts me. Maybe she can get Reggie's keys. Milo paced. She's just a kid. She's kind, Koba said. And kindness changes things. The next morning, Nala peeked curiously. What are you drawing? Koba smiled. A story. About a young elephant who learns to be free. Does she escape? She does, because she had a friend who made a promise. Nala's eyes sparkled. I like that story. So do I, said Koba softly. I just hope it comes true. A few days later, Lily arrived holding a small box. These are new, she said, showing Koba her bright paints. My aunt sent them. She dipped her brush and began painting on her sketchpad, her mother smiling and healthy. I like drawing things how I wish they were, she said. If it looks real enough, maybe it'll happen someday. Koba listened carefully. Those words echoed inside him. When she left, he picked up a paintbrush and began to smear colors on the glass of his enclosure. Green, blue, gold, shapes of trees, rivers, sky. He painted what his heart remembered, the wild. When Milo saw it, he froze. Koba, That's beautiful. Koba's deep voice rumbled. Maybe if I show them they'll understand. Milo wagged his tail. Show them what? Koba looked up at the painted jungle. Freedom. The next morning Mr. Blake arrived in a rush. His phone buzzed nonstop. Some reporters snooping around, he groaned. Talking about animal escapes. Outside, a young woman in a blazer waved politely. Candace Taylor, WNMZ News. Mind if I ask a few questions? Mr. Blake forced a grin. No truth to the rumors, ma'am. But you're welcome to watch tonight's show. When the lights dimmed, Candace sat in the front row. The curtain lifted, and behind the glass, Koba was still painting. Gasps filled the room. The crowd leaned forward, mesmerized by his mural of a lush jungle, sunlight streaking through leaves. Candace whispered, "He's painting freedom." Lily's heart raced. She turned to her father. "Dad, he's trying to tell us something." Peter hesitated. "We could lose our jobs." "Then let me be brave for him," she said. The next morning the story hit every screen. "Gorilla paints his dream of freedom," the headline read. Candace's report showed Koba's mural, vines, rivers, and open skies. Outside the mall, crowds gathered. Protesters waved signs. "Let them be free. No more cages." Inside, Mr. Blake stared at the TV, pale and silent. "This can't be happening," he whispered. Peter entered quietly. "Maybe it's time, sir. Maybe they deserve better." Mr. Blake turned away. "I gave them everything. Food, shelter, safety. And cages," Peter said softly. By evening the parking lot was full of people shouting. Koba pressed his hand against the glass, hearing the chants. Nala blinked up at him. "Why are they yelling our names?" Koba smiled gently. "Because, little one, they want us to be free." Soon officials arrived, led by Dr. Maya, a kind-eyed woman from the city zoo. "We're taking the animals somewhere safe," she told Mr. Blake. He stared at the ground. "So, it's over." She nodded. "It's a new beginning." Nala stepped into her transport crate nervously. "Will the elephants there like me?" Koba smiled through the bars. "They'll love you. Tell them about us." She wrapped her trunk around his hand. "Goodbye, Koba. Goodbye, little one." Then Milo padded over, tail low. "Guess this is it." Koba handed him his stuffed toy knot tag. "Something to remember me by." Milo sniffed, trying not to look sad. "You big softy." Mr. Blake walked into the cage, meeting Koba's eyes. "The day I brought you home, I thought we'd grow old together." "So did I," Koba murmured. Koba woke to humming engines and white walls. He looked around, startled. "The wild," he whispered. "Where is it?" Dr. Maya appeared beside him. "Easy, Koba. You're safe." She opened a door, and sunlight spilled through. Outside stretched rolling green hills, trees, and open sky. Koba stepped out slowly. His feet sank into real grass for the first time in decades. In the distance he saw her, Nala, playing joyfully with a herd of larger elephants. His chest swelled. Milo barked somewhere nearby, chasing butterflies. Birds sang. The air smelled like rain. Dr. Maya smiled. "Welcome home." Koba lifted his head toward the light. "Home," he whispered. It wasn't the jungle he remembered. But it was freedom, and that was enough. Days passed in peace. Koba learned the rhythm of the new world. The call of birds, the rustle of leaves, the laughter of Nala echoing across the fields. Sometimes he sat beneath a tall tree and thought of the old days. Of Maya's wisdom, Milo's jokes, Lily's kindness, and Mr. Blake's tired smile. He remembered being called Mud as a baby, because he loved painting with dirt. He remembered his father's voice. "Strength isn't in your fists, son. It's in your heart." Now, as the wind brushed his fur, he finally understood. Milo trotted over. "Thinking again." "Always," Koba said with a smile. "Miss the mall." Koba looked at the sky. "No, but I remember it kindly." Milo wagged his tail. Then that's what makes you special. That evening, the sky blazed gold and crimson. Nala lifted her trunk high, trumpeting joyfully. Koba stood at the top of a hill, the breeze stirring his fur. He thought of Maya's last words, "Don't let her grow old in a cage." Below him the world stretched wide, alive, endless, free. Milo barked at fireflies. Dr. Maya laughed softly in the distance. And for the first time in his life, Koba didn't feel like the headliner or the caged beast. He felt like something new, something whole. He looked up at the sunset and whispered, "I hope you're watching, Maya. She's free now." Then he turned to join Nala and the others in the grass. For the first time in years, Koba laughed. Deep, real, and wild. He was no longer the circus gorilla. He was the one and only Koba. The sanctuary stretched farther than Koba could see. Rivers twisting like silver ribbons, trees whispering in the wind. Dr. Maya guided the new arrivals gently. "This is your home now," she said. Nala's eyes widened as she saw other elephants bathing in the pond. She squealed and ran to join them. Koba watched her play, his chest swelling with pride. "She's finally where she belongs," he said quietly. Milo wagged his tail beside him. "So are you, big guy." Every day felt different. No bars, no stage lights, no crowds. At night, fireflies drifted through the grass, glowing softly like memories. For the first time in years, Koba dreamed, not of cages but of forests, laughter, and sunlight that never dimmed. Back in town, Lily sat by her window, writing a letter. "Dear Koba," she began. "I hope you're happy where you are. I saw the video of you in the sanctuary. You looked peaceful. I knew you were trying to tell us something that night." She drew a picture of Koba and Nala standing under a big tree. Her father peeked in. "Writing to your friend again." Lily smiled. "He changed me, Dad. He made me see that kindness can be brave." Peter nodded quietly. "He changed a lot of people." They sealed the letter and mailed it to Dr. Maya's office. Weeks later, Maya brought it to the sanctuary. She handed it to Koba, who couldn't read, but he held it gently, pressing it to his chest. He didn't need words to understand. One afternoon, a familiar figure arrived at the sanctuary gates, Mr. Blake. He looked older, his suit wrinkled, eyes heavy. Dr. Maya met him by the fence. "I wanted to see them," he said softly. "They're doing well," Maya replied. "Would you like to watch from here?" He nodded. Koba was sitting beneath a tree, painting on a flat rock with his fingers. When Blake saw him, his eyes filled with tears. "He looks happy." "He is," Maya said gently. "You did care for him once." "I tried," Blake murmured. "I just didn't understand what he needed." Koba looked up and met Blake's gaze through the fence. For a long moment they simply looked at each other. No anger, no regret, only understanding. Blake smiled weakly. "Goodbye, old friend." Koba touched the ground, a silent farewell. That night, Koba sat beside Milo under the moon. "Do you think he meant it?" Milo asked. "Yes," Koba said. "He loved me. He just didn't know what love really was." Milo tilted his head. "And what is it, then?" Koba smiled faintly. "Love isn't keeping someone safe. It's letting them be free." The dog sighed. "You sound like a philosopher." Koba chuckled. "Maybe I am." They both laughed quietly, watching Nala sleeping peacefully across the meadow. In the distance, an owl hooted. The wind rustled the grass like whispers of old friends. Koba closed his eyes and whispered, "Maya, I kept my promise." Koba often walked to the highest hill in the sanctuary. From there he could see everything, the herds, the lakes, the sky stretching forever. Sometimes he closed his eyes and remembered his father's voice, the smell of mud, the sound of his sister's laughter. He had thought those memories were lost, buried under years of performance and cages. But freedom had brought them back, soft and glowing. Milo joined him on the hill one morning. "What are you thinking about now?" "The wild," Koba said. "I used to think it was a place. But maybe it's something inside you. Milo grinned. Inside me, huh? Guess I'm wilder than I look. Koba smiled. Maybe we all are. As months passed, Nala grew stronger. She learned to use her trunk to paint on the mud, inspired by Koba's art. One morning she ran to him, holding a leaf covered in smudges. Look, Koba. I made a tree. He grinned proudly. That's beautiful. It's for you, she said. So you'll never forget me when I join the big herd. He placed a hand gently on her head. I'll never forget you, little one. When I tell the others about you, she said, I'll say you were brave. Koba smiled softly. No, tell them I was kind. That's harder. Nala laughed and ran off to play, her voice echoing through the trees like music. Milo, of course, couldn't sit still. He'd become famous around the sanctuary, sneaking into the elephant yard, stealing sandwiches and chasing butterflies. One day, he trotted back to Koba proudly carrying a flower crown. Made it myself, he said, tail wagging. Koba chuckled. You look ridiculous. Ridiculously handsome, Milo said. Don't be jealous. They both laughed until their sides ached. But later that night Milo grew quiet. You think we'll always stay here? Koba looked up at the stars. As long as we need to. Good, said Milo softly. Because this feels like home. A year later, a familiar voice echoed across the meadow. Koba! He turned, and there was Lily, now taller, her hair tied back in a ponytail, carrying a small canvas. Dr. Maya smiled. She got permission to visit. Lily ran to the fence, eyes bright. I came to show you something. She lifted her painting. Koba and Nala standing beneath a sunset, surrounded by green fields. I called it home, she said proudly. Koba stepped close to the fence, touching the bars softly. Lily placed her hand where his was. Thank you, she whispered, for showing me what freedom means. For showing me what freedom means. Koba blinked slowly, his quiet way of smiling. And somehow that said everything. That evening, Lily left the painting with Dr. Maya. They hung it in the sanctuary's main hall, beside a plaque that read, The one and only Koba, who taught us freedom begins with kindness. Visitors came every week to see the painting, to hear his story. Children pointed at the mural and asked, Did the gorilla really paint? Dr. Maya always smiled. He painted with his hands, but mostly with his heart. Back on the hill, Koba watched the sunset blaze gold. He didn't need crowds or applause anymore. He just needed the wind, the grass, and the ones he loved, near or far. Night fell quietly over the sanctuary. Nala slept among her herd. Milo snored softly beside Koba. The stars shimmered above, endless and bright. Koba gazed upward and whispered, Maya, the promise is kept. He closed his eyes and felt peace in every breath. Not the peace of silence, but of understanding. The world had once tried to cage him, to define him as angry, wild, dangerous. But he had learned something deeper. Freedom, he realized, was not just the absence of walls. It was the courage to love, to forgive, and to hope, even when no one believes you can. And as dawn broke, painting the sky with fire and gold, the great gorilla stood tall in the light. He was no longer a headliner, no longer a prisoner. He was Koba, the one and only.